guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to share with you 5 ways how you can save half the money going grocery shopping. We are a family of 4 and we live in London. We eat as healthy as it is practical, to be honest with you. We try to make sure that we've got protein dense meals so that it keeps us full, so we don't have to snack as much, just because that adds on to the bill, as well as it's not really good for your teeth to be constantly exposing to different foods and drinks. So we try to make sure that when we sit down for a meal, it's as nutritionally dense as possible so that we're nice and full. And when you've got 2 kids, there's just nothing better than them being full and eating everything they're supposed to be eating, so there's not constant mum, I need a snack. Can I have a snack? Get a snack? We barely have that in our house, to be really honest with you, which is an absolute miracle. It is a dream situation for any mum. I'm sure you can relate to that. So I have found over the years 5 simple ways how I save a ton of money on our grocery shop. I am planning on going to ASDA tomorrow to do my massive shop. So I like to do regular grocery shop every 2 to 3 weeks or so. I like to meal plan, which I'll talk you through later, because I'm doing it, I think, a little bit different to most YouTubers out there who are showing you how to do it. And my husband is coming with me just because we've been looking at the amount of money we've been spending on our groceries within the last year, and compared to the year before that, considering the fact that we had 1 less person because Millie wasn't born then, we're actually spending a lot less money. And we were really amazed because we're saving a ton of money. As I was saying before, I like to do a shop every 2 to 3 weeks, but every now and again, I'd say maybe every 4 months or so, I like to go to ASDA and do a massive shop and stock up on a lot of the things at a really good price, just because for some of those things ASDA does offer the best deals possible, so I like to stock up on those as much as possible. So without further ado, let me show you 5 ways how you can save up to a half of your grocery shop. The first way how you can save up to a half of your grocery shop is to love your freezer. Love my freezer. And you know what, most people, when they think the word freezer, their brain straight away goes into the direction of nuggets, chips, frozen pizza and other junk food. No. Basically like a time machine which keeps the food fresh for as long as I need it to. It is my helping chef. Whenever I can't be bothered to cook, I genuinely open the freezer and grab one of the ready meals I made weeks before that. Whatever it is, you've got a helping hand in the freezer where you can just grab it and you know exactly what went in there. You managed to get the produce for the best possible price, so it is costing you a fraction of what it could be. Another way is honestly for your ingredients. So for example, let's say you hate cutting onions. I hate cutting onions, like you cry all the time and stuff like that. You can buy chopped and frozen onion and put it in there. And every time you need onion, you take some out, put it in the frying pan. It needs like maybe an extra minute or 2 to defrost and cook, and it tastes exactly the same. And actually, it works out to be sometimes cheaper than buying regular onion because of how much actually goes into the bin. Amazing, right? And you don't have to do any chopping. So there's many ways how you can use the freezer. I think I'm gonna do a separate video on how I use the freezer, because you can definitely not find any chicken nuggets or fries in. Maybe there's a bag of fries somewhere. Tip number 2 of how to save a load of money off your grocery shop. As you probably realized from what I said in the first tip, is stop buying ready meals. Just honestly, unless it's something you do not know how to cook, or it's honestly gonna take forever for you to cook yourself, stop buying ready meals, because honestly they cost a ton of money. They've got a load of nasties in there, so if you can avoid buying them, please do, because they're gonna save you time. Another thing is that if you are buying ready meals, look out for the ones which can be frozen. So a lot of the times ready meals do not have that much of a shelf life. You have to cook them even. It's just the whole thing. It's much easier if you can buy a ready meal. If you don't go through it, you can pop it in the freezer, and at least it's not wasted money. Another thing is, if you are buying ready meals, buy something that you can cook from frozen, because there's nothing worse than when you're like, oh, I really fancy that, I don't know, lasagna. and you go in there and it says in the label, defrost thoroughly before baking, and your kids are about to come home from school and you don't even know. And it just sits there in the freezer for ages. Why that is ready meals is pizzas. Just because I know how to make pizzas, but I can't bother to make them, to be honest, to put them in the freezer. So what we do a lot of the times is, because our pizzas are always going into the freezer, we never buy frozen pizzas. Those, I don't know, I've never had a nice frozen pizza that, you know, was sold frozen in supermarkets. So if you do and know any brands, make sure to comment below. But what we like to do is we like to buy regular pizzas that supermarkets make, and the ones that they sell on promotion or when they have a really good price, we buy several of them and we shove them all in the freezer the same day. So even if it says that it's expiring the same day, I'm going to go to waste if I buy 10. Tip number 3, meal plan. Meal planning is one of those things that you either love it or hate it. But even for people who hate it, you can find your own way of doing it. Because I have been trying to do meal planning for ages, for the longest time, and I could never quite make it practical enough. I would always fall off the wagon and step off it or whatever it was. So I figured a really nice way how to keep meal planning very adjustable to changes, let's say. So, for example, I always meal plan for at least 10 days in advance, most of the time 2 weeks. I include things like takeaways right on there. Like, let's be real. You know yourself and your family best. You know that, I don't know, maybe you like to get a takeout every week. Maybe you like to get takeout every, 3 days or whatever it is. The point is that be realistic when you meal plan. Just, if you want to have a takeout every Wednesday and Saturday, write it in. Do not kid yourself when you are meal planning that you're actually going to cook 7 days a week if you're not that kind of person. Just be real with yourself, write it in, include that in your budget for the week. What I like to do when I meal plan is I like to alternate the kind of sides that I use, because to me, I don't really, like, our family does not really care which protein we're eating, if we're eating chicken or lentil or whatever it is. So to us, what makes the biggest difference is we do not like to have potato 2 days in a row. So on my meal plan, I always start from Monday when we have potatoes, then I have Tuesday we have rice, then Wednesday we always have pasta and blah, 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 and stuff like that. So you need to start your meal planning with whatever is practical for you, what makes a real difference for you. Let's say, for example, you decided to be a little bit healthier and eat veggie 2 days a week. Pick which those 2 days are always veggie and plan the food around it. You do not have to be super strict on which exact recipe you're going to be using, especially at the beginning. But planning on what you're going to have when is amazing. It takes a few weeks to get into the sync of it. Try different ways of doing it and see what works for you. But honestly, meal planning is fantastic. And I'm going back to my second point of being your own superhero and using the freezer in making your own ready meals. Honestly, include that in your meal plan. So let's say you are taking a peek into our family. And every Wednesday, like I said, we always have pasta and some sort of pasta sauce. Guess what? Every other Wednesday, I'm not cooking. I'm grabbing a sauce out of the freezer and it's costing me a lot less money. All right, tip number 4, guys. This is kind of stemming from stop buying ready meals. Honestly, stop buying rubs, sauce packs, and like curry pods and stuff like that. First of all, look at the ingredient list. Genuinely, I remember thinking, oh, it's just like a pack that has got like lots of herbs inside. It's got like really nice proportions, so they taste really good. Oh my god, the first 5 ingredients in most of them will shock you. They shocked me. Like, I remember they're always full of wheat, lactose, sugar, yeast, like things that don't actually make things taste much nicer when it comes to savory food. So I do not understand why in the world you need a yeast extract to make bolognese taste nicer. But I definitely don't want to eat that. So honestly, try to avoid using those. More than anything, take a look at those sauce packs to get inspiration on what kind of flavors they put in there. So let's say again, the bolognese sauce pack. You can see that it's got things like tomatoes in there and garlic and onion. You can just buy garlic and onion and cook it off. And you can add things like sage and oregano, super cheap. You put that in, makes a massive difference. Like, I can make a video on how you can take those sauce packs and curry pods and all of that and make your own for like a couple of minutes. It saves you a ton of money and you eat a lot healthier. And you know exactly what you put in it. Like tomorrow when I go to ASDA, I'm planning on buying a ton of coriander, ginger, garlic, and I'm planning on blitzing it all up so that I've got Thai green curry pods. I might even make a red one because they've got peppers for a decent price. We'll take a look. But the point is that while you're making that curry, you need the sauce pad anyway. You literally chuck everything in a blender, and instead of making it for one portion, you make for 10. Then you put it in an ice cube tray, portion it all out, and when it's frozen from the freezer, you pop it out, put it in the bag, and you've got a bag worth of Thai green curry pods that are completely natural. You've done them all yourself. They taste so much nicer than the artificial cupboard ones, and for the same price, you're gonna get probably about 10 times more than you would have. Because if you look at it, yes, they are cheap. You get like 80 pence once, a pound, but they do add up. Especially if you're using it for every meal of the week. So let's say you're getting takeout twice a week, great. 5 days a week, if you're using those pods, if they're at least £1 each, that's £5 that you can save off your weekly shop. Like, it makes a massive difference, and you're eating healthier all at the same time. Things are gonna overrated to me. Tip number 5, know what's the good price. There's so many times when somebody comes and tells me like, oh my God, I found such a great price for this product, it was on sale. That does not mean that that is the best price possible. The number one thing I would tell you is check price per kilo or price per unit if it's like individual things like, I don't know, cookies or something. But the point is that it makes a massive difference. Everybody knows that the way the supermarkets and the other shops work is they're making money off the sale items because they're trying to make you feel like you're getting a really good deal. And you might be, that's all part of the game. But at the end of the day, do your homework, know what a good price is. There's been so many times when I've heard of rollbacks and all that, and actually the non-promotion item is actually cheaper. So always look at the per kilo price. So what do you do when you find a fantastic price? You keep those in mind, like for example, chicken breast. I have seen that ASDA has dropped their price for their chicken breast to, so for me, I know for a fact that £5 or less is a good price for chicken breast in London. I saw that it's like £4.80 or something like that. So I'm planning on stocking up on it. I'm probably gonna buy probably about 4 containers or so, like 4 big containers of those. And I'm probably going to use 2 of those containers straight away, depending on the shelf life. And then I'm going to probably make some ready meals out of the other ones. And then I'm probably going to freeze some of the chicken breast just plain for, you know, few weeks time, whatever I fancy, maybe doing stuffed chicken or something like that. But the point is that look out for price. When you find a good price, stock up on it. So for example, I'll give you an example. Last January, I found a really, really good price on the fabric softener that we use. And that's another thing. Always stock up on things you are 1000% sure you're going to use. Otherwise, it's wasted money. It's the same as like, you know, when you buy something, like a ready meal, for example, and you're like, oh yeah, that tastes really nice, but probably, I don't know, you never got to try it, and you just shove it in your freezer, and it lives there for a year, and then it just ends up in the bin. That's not stocking up. That is not good price. That is a wasted space and wasted money. So, back to the fabric softener. So this is the one that I've been using for years, we love it, blah, blah, blah. I managed to find it at 75% off the usual price. I bought 12 months worth of it. It cost me, I think about 30 quid. It was £30 for a whole year worth of fabric softener. We're still using it. Like, I still have several bottles and I'm starting to panic now that I'm running out and they don't do any promotions on those. So I have to find a good one after that. The point is, always know your price. Do not listen to what's for sale, blah, 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 all of that. Know what a good price is for you and have a little budget left over every week ready to jump on at the opportunity and stock up on that item. It could be toothpaste, it could be soap, it could be fresh fruit and veg, whatever it is, you need to make sure that you get the right price. I'll give you another example. So you probably have heard a lot of the times people tell you, oh, branded versus non-branded, always buy the non-branded one. Then it doesn't taste as nice, or it doesn't have as good of an ingredient list, like it's not as healthy or whatever it is. The point is that always look at the ingredient list, first of all, yeah? If it's exactly the same product, look at the price per kilo. So for example, probably about a year and a half ago now, we used to love mature cheddar from the Cathedral. That's like the classic we eat in at least in London, I guess, in North London, I don't know. The point is, it's a really nice cheese, and I used to always wait when it goes on promotion to stock up on it. And then one day, I was at ASDA, and they redone, I think, the packaging at the time for their cheddar cheese. So you can actually see the cheddar inside. And I looked at it and I remember thinking, that looks exactly the same, like this is mad. And it was like, I think £2 cheaper per kilo. So as a tester, I got one of the packs from like just as the branded one. And when I got home, I opened the packaging, I put it in a Tupperware box and I just put it in the fridge. We eat a lot of cheese, which is, oh, what can you do? You know, you need a bit of joy in life and it's just cheese, for God's sake. So the point is that my whole family has been eating this cheese, and I remember on like the last day or something, I was like, oh, what do you think of this cheese? And they're like, oh, it's so much nicer than the usual one. Oh, did you get like a more premium one? And I was like, no, I got ASDA's own mature cheddar, which is a ton cheaper, and it saved me so much money, and obviously nobody knew the difference. At the end of the day, unless you like the taste of the branded product, unless there is an ingredient list that is so much better than anybody else, what is the point of spending more money just for a brand? At the end of the day, when it goes on your plate, it does not have a label on it, and who cares? Alright guys, now I'm going to show you the ASDA shop that I'm doing tomorrow, but I guess for you it's just in like 5 seconds or so.
So as you can see guys, this is a massive haul that I do, as I'm saying, every few months or so. The main purpose of it is to fill up my freezer with enough ingredients to make the other smaller shops last longer, such as protein, such as chicken and stuff like that. Having a really big batch of eggs so I can bake bits off with them and put them in the freezer as well for snacks, for school lunches, etc. But let's take a look at it one thing at a time, and I will talk you through it. I will also try to include in the comments, most probably below in the description box, how much food this actually made, just because it's a bit hard to see into the future. But this shop should be lasting us at least 3 weeks. I think we will be able to stretch it to 3.5 weeks, maybe even 4 without a problem. The only things that we will be shopping for during that time are bananas, just because they'll obviously go off and we eat crazy amounts of bananas. So I'm giving it another, I'd say about £4 worth spending buying bananas over the next couple of weeks, just so that they stay nice and fresh and yellow. And the other thing that we will definitely will have to be buying as well will be probably a head or two of broccoli, which is like £1, and then probably a few avocados, which are again are £1 each. But this massive haul has cost me £240.41, which for 3 weeks for 4 people is incredible, considering this is a stock up haul. It's got lots of soap in it and other bits that will take us forever to get through. On a separate note as well, since my husband was coming to give me a hand with all of this, so I didn't have to go shopping twice and have like 2 trolleys, he has sneaked past me a couple of bits, little treats, which is fine, you know, it's life, and more than anything I'm looking at it as a payment for him helping me. So there's a few bits that I've put at the end that I would never have bought, but you know what, those things happen and we're all human and it's completely fine. It made him happy, it made me happy, and it was only a few pounds worth of. But let's take a look in slow motion pretty much exactly what I got, and I will talk you through it. So starting with fruit and veg, I managed to get a couple of those squashes, which were 80p each, which is just amazing. few bags of potatoes. They were about £1 per kilo, which was just incredible price. Sweet potatoes were good as well. Carrots and peppers, you know, nice and staple. Then I've got apples as well. That's one of a few things that I actually get that are organic, just because of I read this article about all the nasties, but they're actually a really good price for organic. So 6 of them are £1.70. A few heads of broccoli at 50p, really nice. Then, as I was saying, ginger, garlic, all that coriander for the curry pods, a few more veg. The avocados are a fantastic price. They're under £1 each for large avocado at ASDA. Then I've got some figs, which are a treat for me. The grapes are in season at the moment, so we've got £1 for half a kilo, which is really great. Got some stone fruit for Millie's porridges in the morning. Then I also got 5 boxes of eggs, just because we eat a ton of eggs, being a high protein diet that we're following, but also they're great for baking things off and popping them in the freezer for later. These are the pizzas my husband really wanted, so we found some that were on promotion and we popped them all in the freezer. A couple of ginormous tubs of chicken, so we've got 4 of them. Then I got that smoked salmon, is so yummy, and it was 3 for £10, so that was like £3.33 for 140 grams of salmon. Smoked salmon, it's fantastic. Then this high protein yogurt we love, so this will definitely last us 3 weeks. Make sure to always check your shelf lives for those things, guys. Then the meat was amazing. The price for meat at ASDA cannot be beaten in my opinion. So I got a whole chicken, I got some pork for casseroles, I got really looking forward to making that one, and the steak, so that's like a braising steak, so it will make a really nice stew. So those are for to be used later in the month. We've got really good salmon, and these are our favorite sausages. They're such a treat. They've got nasties in them, but they're a good price and they taste so yummy. They're definitely a treat in our family. Then I have got bone and skin on chicken thighs. Look at that price, that is amazing. Looking forward to making those. That's the chicken breast. Super happy. It's such a staple in our family because we don't eat ham because of all the nasties in it. So I like to make really simple shredded chicken, and we put those in sandwiches and in everything. Oh yeah, I also found that little pork roast, so I'll make that in a couple of weeks time on Sunday. Oh, this is the only bread my son would eat at the moment, but at least it's wholemeal rather than completely white, so pick your battles. Sun-dried tomatoes as well, really good price, and they are amazing. Those little pods, I love using them in all tomato-based sauces. They just make everything pop. Sesame oil for the curry pods. Then I needed some flour and some corn flour as well. Oh, black peppercorns, a must in our family. We were running low. One of the things to go to ASDA for. Porridge oats. Oh my god, we love porridge. My 1-year-old has porridge every single morning. I'm trying to be just as good, but there's other tempting things like those sausages I had earlier on. Got some paper buds for our ears. Again, really good price at ASDA. We really need walnuts because I'm making beetroot brownies out of that beetroot I got. So that'll be really yummy. Seedless raisins, a real staple in our family, as well as sultanas, great for snacks. Baby milk. ASDA is the only supermarket I know of that does a good price on baby milk. They actually do a promotion. I think it's 2 for £18. Really good. Again, Sudocrem, of course. And also I've got these paracetamol for children, which is Calpol, but it's basically half price from Calpol because it's not branded, even though it's exactly the same. It's sugar-free. I was so happy to do that, to get those. So they were like £2 for each. Fantastic. Again, toothpaste as well, £1.40 each, if I'm not mistaken. Really good. And then I got this soap as well. I'm so cheap, it's really funny, but I love buying the soap. They're 55p for each one of these ginormous bottles, and I just pour them into nice dispensers. and nobody ever knows, and they feel so good. So these are the two naughty things that my husband managed to sneak into his cart. But come on, it's mince pies. Everybody loves a really good mince pies, and I managed to eat one of them. So it's worth it. It was a couple of quid altogether, so that's fine. We also got a load of oat milk just because we do not drink dairy milk, and this is just perfect for porridges and all kinds of things. My son loves this one, and it was a really good price at ASDA. It was £1.20 per carton. I also got some peas. I love petit pois compared to garden peas. I find them to taste a lot nicer and sweeter, so I managed to get 3 kilos of those. And those are a couple of bits that I've picked up that were not part of a food shop, but I needed it, and ASDA did a good price. And of course, baby clothes. I cannot go past baby clothes, so I'm not including it in the all the money that I've spent on the shop. But as you can see, the red packs of cheese. So yeah, I got 4 packs of that as the cheddar. I get it every couple of months. It lasts forever in the fridge, and they taste so yummy. Oh, look at that jumper. Love it. It's perfect for nursery, so I don't have to worry about it being ruined. I think it was only about 4 quid. And then I got this really pretty dress combo. I love it. I can't wait for her to wear it in the summer.
Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to comment below on what your thoughts are and what your tips are on saving money on groceries, because I would love to hear that and love learning myself. So, I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.